What's up, people? It's X on X again, and I didn't think I'd make another video of this, but I kind of had to because now I just now noticed that there's some people that's trying to validate Marinette's stalking tendencies. With this video, I'm going to show right here.
I got a lot of comments insisting that Marinette is a stalker, and she probably doesn't deserve Adrian. They expressed the fact that Adrian would be better off with Sublime than with Marinette. And I wanted to know why they would choose Sublime for Adrian and trash the Adrianette ship, which took 5 whole seasons to build. And the reason was that those fans were just pissed off at the fact that Marinette keeps behaving.
And seeing the problem with that is that the first time she saw Adrian, that's another problem, is that when they first met, and I remember the episode, she already knew about Adrian before he showed up in town. So what does that tell you? That already isn't sounding right now, is it?
Even after she has officially become Adrian's girlfriend. Pissed off by the fact that Marinette was much more confident with Adrian in season 5 than she is right now in season 6. Sorry. Seemingly, no progress in her character development. However, the truth is that her chaotic actions in sublimation were kinda understandable because she had to find out about this beautiful blonde new girl who was seen.
Okay, so here's my question about that. Okay, here, okay, out of all the seasons, up into season 6, and yet she's been doing the same shit by looking at the next girl that he's with. I mean, this doesn't help anything. She basically been doing the same shit ever since season 1 or 2. And then now here she's trying to give her an excuse for why she's doing that shit again. You see, this is what I'm talking about. She's just trying to validate Marinette's creepy tendencies and then her stalking habits, and then try to jump to, she should be aware about every girl he's with. She already been doing that shit. Now you just basically giving her like a green light to basically continue doing that shit again.
Sublime's got lots of potential and could sweep any man off his feet. She wasn't really bothered when Lila threatened to take Adrian away from her because Lila's was way horrible.
From now on, you and I are at war. You will lose your friends and wind up all alone, and Adrian will soon be mine. We'll see about that, Lila. We'll see.
But Sublime, she's perfect. Besides talking about stalking, do you know what's even creepier? The fact that Lila was stalking Marinette. Now that's the...
Okay, so basically, it's okay for her to stalk, but it's wrong for Lila to stalk. I mean, this is kind of shit I'm talking about. Like, you're trying to make it okay for her to do it, but you're trying to make it wrong for Lila to do it. Like, what the fuck? Even if that is true, like, what the fuck? That brings me to another thing. Like this scene some seasons earlier, I forget what season this is from. Here's her stalking Adrian again. I mean, she's been doing this shit. There's no difference. Like basically in season 6, at no point that she stopped doing this behavior. Like the only thing is that now in season 6, now you have people like that trying to defend her stalking habits and say, no, it's not stalking. She's just, I don't know how she's trying to put it, but either way, it's still stalking. And then talking about, she Lila's stalking her. Is like, okay, yeah, you're just trying to validate Marionette's creepy behavior. That's all you guys are just trying to do. At least not all you people that's watching this, but just the folks that are trying to make it sound like, oh, she's in the right when she's not. Oh, she should be aware of every girl he hangs out with. She's been doing this since season 1 and 2. And then you wait, and then until season 16, you try to make it sound like, oh, it's a valid reason. No, it's not a valid reason. Shit. Like, this is ridiculous. Hell, just because of that fact, let me play a clip.
What do you know about this crazed fan?
He's come to every one of my shows this year. He's also sent me stacks of letters, gone through my trash. He even followed my mother to her weekly bingo night.
How creepy.
It cracks me up how even in the show, don't call her out on his behavior. And then, yeah, it's just so funny to me how, yeah, it's creepy when someone else does it, but when she does, it's not creepy at all. And then you have some people that's even trying to defend that shit. Oh, boy. Because, I mean, like, the shit she's done so far is borderline creepy. I mean, for example, let me name another episode. Like that one time she actually was at one of like it was an event going on at Adrian's place, and of course she goes there, but at no point she let Adrian know that she's there, or that she was going, or she was headed there, or not headed there. Well, she was headed there, but she was there, but she didn't let him know, and she was sneaking behind shit. And, or that one episode where she was literally under his bed hiding, and he, of course, he still doesn't know that she was there. And then that would have been an awkward situation to explain herself. Or the other time where she literally broke into his house to put in a gift and started sniffing his pillow and clothes. You see how creepy this shit keeps going? The more I keep going on with this shit, that's the problem, Marinette. It's like you have some people to try to validate her actions, and then I'm just like, that doesn't even make it look good. Well, no, it doesn't look good. That's the problem. Especially with the cheap ass like explanation of like the reason why she's this way, but that still don't make it look any more healthy. Then it's just again, it's like they're just trying to validate her actions, and rather than acknowledging, okay, she's just being a creepy person. While at the same time, she calling someone else being a creepy person. It's like, okay, yeah, funny how she forgot that she's a stalker, and totally just obsession. I mean, I already mentioned that she literally followed him to another country. And of course, again, without his consent, no, you know how creepy this shit. Like I said, if the shoe was on the other foot, if it was a male stalking a female situation instead, this shit would have been shut down a long time ago. No one would even argue that it's creepy, even predatory. But because she's a female, you can get away with that shit. I mean, for example, like look at this post that the guy put about her obsession. Talking about she may be upset, she may be obsessed by him, but she's not stalking. Really? So her going everywhere he goes without his knowledge or consent, or bringing to his house or having a schedule isn't considered stalking. How funny! Especially the clip I just showed. She was no harassment. She's not threatening. Adrian himself considers her a good friend. She's one suffers from this night. Yeah, funny to say that, considering that she literally has a schedule of every place he goes to the next 3 years. And not only that, the fact that she even got that is itself a freaking creepy mystery. And the fridge horror on this, be lampshaded, is the fact that she basically even carries on the fact that she literally, every time she sees him anywhere, she'll literally make an excuse just to follow his ass. Then she'll try to justify it with, oh, that's for his safety. And really and truly, just her just following around and hiding behind corners and seeing who he's hanging out with and where he goes, and then tries to sabotage his relationships. Yeah, that's definitely harassment, because then she's trying to ruin any chance he has with any other female. And then what don't make that look any better is the fact that, like I said, she just wants to basically, like I said, she wants to control Adrian's life. And that's another problem. So what Tom is saying is like, what the fuck? Because I remember how that happened. Because I remember what happened in that one episode of the show where basically, especially all the other times where, like I said, anytime Adrian's around, and this is something to I find very funny. Yeah, she does the shit with she does the shit with Adrian. But yeah, she don't do the shit with Luca. And Luca, she had a crush on him, but she didn't do all that stuff. It almost seemed like she was normal with him, but with Adrian, it's like, I don't know, like that's a very consistent thing in the show. That's all I can say.
Knows where he goes, what he eats, what he's allergic to, even his fifth name. That obsession feels extreme until you watch the episode Derision. Before Adrian, Marinette had a crush on Kim. But because Kim was close to Chloe and lacked empathy, he toyed with her feelings and humiliated her. The trauma was so deep that Marinette made herself a promise.
I will never, ever fall in love again. I should have known. Been more prepared. I should have had a plan. I'll never tell another boy that I love him before I know everything about him. His birthday, all his first names, his schedule, his favorite things. I'll make sure that he is not friends with Chloe.
And again, again, just say real quick, does that really excuse that behavior? Does that really make her look any less unhealthy? Talking about it seems less extreme. You know, it's not less extreme because anyone who anyone who has that and then they just want to follow this person everywhere they go. And again, like I said, yeah, she's doing this shit. Like like I already mentioned. That's what makes it look fucking weird. How she does this shit with Adrian. Yeah, she never did a shit with Luca. Like, okay, well that's kind of like a plot hole. Or, I don't know. Like it's some kind of inconsistency because like she do that shit with him, but she don't do that shit with Luca. So I mean, I don't know. Like I said, they clearly didn't think that shit through. And again, like I said, her behavior is still creepy. And here's the kicker: even though she's technically with him in season 6, she's still stalking. So it's like, well, so much for that. So much for this explanation. So much for this explanation. Since she's still doing that, even though she's with him, but she's still doing that shit anyway. So it doesn't really matter, honestly. At that point, I'm just like, this doesn't make it right, or better yet, it just doesn't make it healthy. I swear. All the people I've already made, like, this is like literally my third video doing a rant on this because I was just like, ugh. Like I mentioned before, she already did other video where I was talking about like she already been over 11. It's just I guess it's just like a Tuesday at this point for her to do this kind of shit, having a schedule. I don't know what to say anymore. All I can say is that her tendencies. I did not make this video a little bit longer than it really should have been, but all I can say is that her tendencies is just not healthy. Like that explanation doesn't make it any more healthy or any less unhealthy. Because, like I said, she literally follows him everywhere he goes. She literally went into his house without his consent or knowing. She literally went to one of his events without him even knowing she was even there or without his consent again. And then she'll literally follow him around and hide behind things. And then she literally has a schedule. Who's to say she hasn't even watched him sleep? Because considering the shit she's done that's extreme, I can't really put it past her to like watch him in his sleep. Go into Ladybug transformation just to watch him sleep. Because, and that's another creepy thing too to think about, is that the fact that she just says she has a schedule for the next 3 years. That means she knows when he's going to sleep, when he's going to get up. Yeah, I think at this point we've crossed this shit not just being a unhealthy sensation. That is a stalker shit, because that's what a stalker would do. I swear, what is wrong with people? They're trying to say she's not a stalker. They're trying to give an explanation, but yet she's still a fucking stalker. If she was a male instead of a female, this shit wouldn't have the same reaction. Everybody would even say it's even predatory, but like I said, she's a female, so that's why they can get away with that shit. Otherwise, that shit would have been shut down ages ago. Wouldn't even have a chance to even see the light. Let me just end this video real quick before it gets a little too long than I originally intended it for me. So yeah, like I said, she's still doing the same shit she's been doing it. I've already read about that, but she's been doing the same shit for 6 seasons. What the fuck? This don't make her look good. It didn't make her look good from the get-go. Hell, it doesn't even help that in the first episode she already knew about Adrian, even though he hadn't introduced himself to a school yet. So that's another creepy thing to imply. Like I said, this doesn't make her look good. At this point, the only boy she's ever been obsessed with is him. Like I said, she did like Luca, but she didn't obsess over him like that. She didn't. Just about every episode, like ignoring her ladybug identity life and her civilian life is just rolling around Adrian and literally just stalking him, following him, and then getting his clothes. I'm just like, especially when he was in that statue, pretending to be a statue, talking about it smells like him. Like, how does she know what he smells? I'm not even. I'm just gonna stop. Let me just end the video right there.
Anyway, stop taking photos of Adrian. Well, unless you give them to me afterwards.